Welcome to PTG TV. This is your host, the illustrious Antonio Hicks. Man, I got an episode for y'all today. I'm like, you know what? Let's just get into it. People, please. What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Like, for real, like really, what the WTF is going on with everybody in this country? Like, I mean, I'm just really trying to understand. Why are we continuing to elect older people? And I'm against ageism. I'm not going to sit here and say, older people can't work or do anything. But when it comes to certain things in the industry and or governing or representing an entire nation, motherfucker, you just too old. Like, to me, there should be an age limit as to how, because I would like to think when I get older, I don't want to spend my time working in somebody's corporate job, and or let's say I did win my race and I ran for office. I don't want to spend my later 60s or 70s walking into Capitol Hill and just, and dealing with politics at the later stages of life. I want to transition peacefully without having worried about the stress of trying to appease and appeal to every goddamn body across this country. And I am trying to understand why we continue to elect older people. Like, President Obama wasn't that old when he got in office. But shortly after that, you had a slew of candidates that was in the top runner before ahead of Biden, like long ahead of Biden. And it was like the party itself, which is why I have beef with the party right now. And we're going to get on that. I mean, you really are going to get on that, which I still have beef with the party right now. But I'm like, all of a sudden, Biden became the prop forefront over any. I was a Bernie boy. Bernie was old as hell too. He was old as hell too. But Bernie still has some. And I honestly believe though, if Bernie had won, he probably would have only served one term and end up passing the baton to somebody else. But I am trying to understand like why, not even just the presidency, like it just in office in general, from your House seats to your senator seats, your senatorial seats, it's like, why do we keep electing these older people? And we think it's cool. Like, we continue to go to the polls and elect these same peoples because you goddamn well know that if it was your parents, you don't want your parents dictating you what you're supposed to do. You don't want your parents making any laws for you. My parents can't even drive without potentially hitting other people in their cars. My parents can't make any decisions for me in my adult stages in my life because they don't have the cognitive dissonance to understand how things work in this world right now, how technology works. Matter of fact, they don't even really understand sometimes how to get from point A to point B. I have to go, and my dad is only 70 years old, and I have to remind my dad and cuss him out, not literally cuss him out, I'm not going to disrespect my father like that, but yell at this man to make him eat 2 to 3 meals a freaking day. And you trying to tell me somebody that has 11 years on my father who I have to remind to eat, y'all want to put this man back in place again? And then 45. And and before anybody even say it, I'm not trying to say Republicans are any better. You will never hear those words come out of my mouth. You will not. And another reason you won't hear those words come out of my mouth, because you're ignorant to me. Republicans are ignorant to me. Yes, you should say you should work with both sides, but I haven't seen anything coming from the other side that causes me to want to work with anything they have going on over there. Not a single thing. Not a single thing. Even with their own constituents, I don't choose to entertain with people like that because they're ignorant, and half of them are pretty much racist. And I say they're racist because of the crowd that they put themselves in and supporting a very racist man. And you say, who might that be? 45. And I won't call him in my show. I'm going to always call him by his number because he was a president. 45. Which is why you won't ever hear me beat them down, because they don't even do enough to come and try to talk to, the black community. Or, the other communities they do, but not enough to come talk to the black community. I always got to try to get somebody come like Tim Scott to try to come in and talk to us, and that ain't gonna work because we know, and I'm gonna have to say it just like this: he's an Uncle Tom, and it ain't somebody we even trying to listen to or even deal with. So I have to beat down the party that's supposed to represent us, which is the Democratic Party. I have to beat them down because they always come to us with snake oil. They literally always come to us knocking on doors, getting me to do it. And that's another thing too, while we getting on that topic. A lot of people out here complaining online, talking about, oh, well, y'all talking about Biden and his age. and his cognitive abilities and how he can't remember stuff. Like, who would you prefer? And, you know, he's accomplished so much. I don't give a shit how much he's accomplished. I really don't. I got beef with him about the whole Ukraine and about him continuing to fund Israel. And I'm going to get on that too. I have beef with him doing those things. But I really do have beef with this man being old. I really do. I don't care anything about what I do care about those other things, but at the end of the day, this dude is old as hell. I have beef with him from the crime bill. His history, I have beef with him and some of the things that he pushed before he called himself getting with the black community and the minorities and stuff and supporting us. And it's only because of his own political aspirations he realized that he need us on his back, which is why he ended up, because I used to like him really before I started digging deep into who he really was. I used to call him Get Him Told Biden because I liked him. But anyway, back to this hot topic at hand. I don't understand why we keep putting these people back in office. These people don't even understand the technology of today.
How does that show up on a 7-year-old's iPhone who's playing a kid's game?
Congressman, iPhone is made by a different company, and so,
how are you passing bills to govern this nation and you don't even understand some of the things that help run this nation? You don't. And I get it, you can have advisors, but I don't care about the advisors. You need to have a grasp of what this stuff is. You do. You really do. And this party, they never really they have candidates that want to run. Met a lot of them. Help them canvass. They have candidates that want to run and to get put into place, but the party, they'd rather support that incumbent that's been in there for umpteen years, that's on his last leg. They need 2 walkers, a wheelchair, and somebody to still hold them up just so they can get to the bathroom or get down to their office. They come in limping. They come in looking like Quasimodo. And it's like, you want us to continue. That's who you prop up. You won't go with any of the younger candidates to really push them, to really help push them. And then when they're progressive, you really try to prop somebody up that's on the capitalist side, that's going to help you keep money in place. So you really push all the younger people out to try to maintain these older people. Biden's going to be 81. He's 81 years old. He's 81 years old. You got Chuck Schumer, who's in place. He's a House minority. He's 72 years old. And I'm like, and Bernie Sanders is 81. Bernie need to sit down. I ain't gonna lie, Bernie doesn't need to sit down. And I love Bernie to death. Bernie has been the one-trick pony from the time he ran for office, and I love Bernie for that. Bernie has always fought for people's rights, and Bernie has not changed that tune since the time he been playing that same banjo from the time he got in office until now. And I love that man for that. That man genuinely cares about the people. And they got a poll that came out saying the median age for the House of Representatives is like 57.9 years old. And then when you get into the Senate, it's 65.3. Now, you do have certain cases where you have younger congressmen that's coming in now, and younger senators getting in now. But still, at the end of the day, the majority of the ones that's in there, they're old as hell. And I'm like, I don't understand how even Nancy Pelosi, man. Nancy Pelosi is 83 years old. 83. This is how you know she lost her goddamn mind. Come in a little closer. Come in a little closer. She has lost her goddamn mind. You gonna tell protesters that's out protesting to prevent a slaughter of a human species, a race of people, come in a little closer. She has lost her goddamn mind. You gonna tell protesters that's out protesting to prevent a slaughter of a human species, a race of people, have been ethnically cleansed from a place, and you're going to say the protesters are propped up by Russia. Then you're going to say, then all of a sudden in the next breath, they're from the Chinese Communist Empire, the regime itself. They're either from Russia or from China. I'm like, come on now, bro. Come on now. You really just either you which I said she lost her goddamn mind. Either you really believe that, or you already checked out a long time ago, and you going by what you only use that when you want to cast blame on somebody or something. That's what you got stuck in your head. So that's what's going to always come out to the forefront. But I mean, so, and I mean, let's really get into the numbers itself, because I'm like, you got Maxine Waters, and I love Maxine Waters. I love the sister. Maxine Waters is 57. Her and Harold Rogers is 85 years old. I mean, at 85 years old. You got Maryland's Democrat Steny Hoyer, 84 years old. 84. So let's go down the list. I mean, I'm gonna list out all. I got 20 of them. I'm gonna list out all 20 of them. Y'all tell me how it makes sense. Make it make sense to me why we keep electing these people. Because and then we're gonna get on policy after I get done talking about this. But I really want to make this episode to really get on and drill down the fact of there needs to be an age limit. There needs to be a term limit, and there needs to be an age limit. And it's not it's not about ageism, but it's the fact that you gotta step aside and make. That's what leadership is, right? Like, if any of y'all have gone through leadership development classes, I have gone through leadership development classes. If you've gone through anything of leadership development classes, you have to make way for the next generation to come up, and you always have to have two people ready to go. That if something happened to you, they can step in, and the machine can continue to move. That's what you're supposed to do as a leader. They don't do this. They may have assistants, they may have staff that work for them. But when it comes time for maybe something happens to them and it's never anybody ready. It's never anybody ready. So anyway, let's get back to it. So I said Dianne Feinstein, Senator Dianne Feinstein, Democrat of California. She's 90 years old. She's retiring. I mean, but this chick has lost her mind. Like she sleep. All she does is sleep. She sleep all the time. And that goes back to my point again. Why do you want to spend your latter years being pushed around in a wheelchair, drool on the side of your mouth, being pushed into the Capitol to do work that you don't even understand how to do? Your assistants have to do for you. When it comes time to vote, they have to tell her what to. So if they're telling her what to do and how to vote, is it really her own decision? Because she was the one that was elected, not the assistants. They were just hired. They could be pushing their own personal agenda. Like we got UNRWA people being accused of stuff. Why aren't the same thing being said about these assistants working for these old politicians when they're telling them what vote to cast? They're retiring. You have Representative Bill Pascrell Jr., Democrat of New Jersey, 86 years old. Delegate Eleanor Holmes Norton, Democrat out of District of Columbia, 86 years old. Representative Harold Rogers, I already said that, from out of Kentucky, Republican, 85 years old. Steny Hoyer, I already said that they're 84 years old, next close to 83. James Clyburn, Democrat out of South Carolina, 83 years old. Representative Danny Davis, Democrat out of Illinois, 82 years old. Bernie Sanders, like I said, 82. Bernie, he was 81, now he 82. I mean, his birthday just passed, I guess. Representative John Carter, Republican out of Texas, 81. Mitch McConnell, the Turtle Man himself, the Ninja Turtle himself, that somehow keep finding his way out of the sewers. I guess he's trying to run from the shredder. He 81 years old. Frederica Wilson, love her. She's 80 years old. Representative Anna Eshoo, a Democrat of California, 80 years old. Representative Kay Granger, Republican out of Texas, 80 years old. Representative Rosa DeLauro, Democrat out of Connecticut, 80 years old. Senator Jim Risch, Republican out of Idaho, 80 years old. Representative Virginia Foxx, Republican out of North Carolina, 80 years old. That's 20 people, man. 20 people. 20 people. They're all in their 80s. I haven't even listed the ones in their 70s or the late 60s, but still, you're in your 80s. And y'all keep appointing these people. And I understand the whole thing of you want to control seats, but why aren't y'all getting people? You have people ready. Y'all wouldn't know this. Some of y'all wouldn't know this if you actually volunteered, but there are people that's actively wanting to run, but the party itself is pushing them back. They did it to me. They didn't want me to run against an incumbent who had been in there. He had already served like 7 terms already. Dude is old. Dude, I mean, first of all, he wasn't doing them for the district, but they were opposed to that 100%. And I'm like, homeboy is old and he ain't doing no work. He need to sit down. But I'm like, I don't understand this because, and I always equate it back to, even the presidency, I always equate it back to personal relationships and how you would do in your own personal life. And you all know without a shadow of a doubt, you would not let an old person govern you or tell you what to do in your own personal life. You wouldn't do it. You wouldn't want them making financial decisions for you. You wouldn't want them signing any contracts for you. You for damn sure don't want them, ain't gonna let them drive you around. None of y'all would allow that. So it's interesting to me, knowing that you wouldn't allow that, why you are continuing to show up to the polls to vote for somebody that you know is extremely old. Why are you all not pressuring the party to start propping up younger people? Because there are younger people. Don't believe this notion of, we're trying to get more young people involved. They are involved, but they're being pushed down. I know this because I saw it firsthand. They're being pushed down. I can't speak for every state, but I know here in the state of Georgia, they're being pushed down. They're encouraged to run for local offices. But then when it comes time to get in certain positions in local offices, they don't give them the opportunity because the older person is in there and they're refusing to sit down and retire. And then when it comes for a federal seat, like your House seat and your Senate seats federally, they for damn sure not letting them run for those seats because they feel as though those are tried and true and you don't want to rock the boat and you don't want to get in and potentially have a chance of a Republican might being able to do something when they help you. It's like, come on, man, shut the hell up. Like realistically, shut the hell up. And then they go into this whole narrative of they want to do fear mongering and scare you. Well, if you don't vote for this person, then the other side is going to get in and they're going to cause chaos. Bro, black people have been through a lot of stuff already. I mean, real talk. I'm talking about black people. I mean, everybody else, like, I see people arguing online talking about they all helping each other's community out, but black people are the only ones that don't do it. And there's some truth to that. So at the end of so even if that's what we believe in, well, we don't have any political help. I mean, because there's talk. There's always talk, but there's never anything done to really back that up. There's always a bit, and it's always interesting when they decide they want to push some of these policies. They do it when we don't have control. So then they can turn around and blame it on the Republicans and say, well, the reason we can't get it passed is because, the Republicans are blocking us. I love when people try to argue with you that don't think that you know anything. Like, I clapped at one guy online, because we're going to get on policies after this, because we're going to start talking about Biden and what he's accomplished and why I'm not supporting him at all. And I don't care what anybody says. Y'all can EAD. I honestly don't even care. I'm not supporting it, man. And you're not going to find me out canvassing telling anybody to support him. But I had one guy was arguing. I was talking about Biden. He was arguing about Biden. And he was like, y'all so-called, what did it say, extreme liberals, y'all, Biden has done this and Biden has done that. And y'all looking for little things to nitpick from. I was like, no. And he said the only reason he's not getting anything passed is because of Republicans. I was like, bullshit. Because I was like, the same as President Obama, he had 2 whole years where we controlled all branches of government. We could have gotten anything and everything passed. Anything and everything passed. We could have stacked the courts out. They didn't want to do that because they didn't want to seem bad to stack the courts out. But you know who stacked the courts out? Trump did. Had no problem doing that. Republicans made sure they stacked them out. So it's like, why is it that we always want to try to play by the rules and play by what we feel as though might be morally right? But at the same time, we're screwing and dicking over a group of people that we made promises to, and you're not going to keep them. Like all the promises that he made on the campaign trail, from healthcare reform to student loan forgiveness to the civil rights movement act being put back into place again, to the George Floyd thing, that didn't happen. That happened while he was in office. But all those things could have